Hey everybody, it's Lashes Lane, and this is episode 19 of the Sober Showgirl podcast. Guys, I cannot believe we are at episode 19 already. It's so crazy. Season 1 is almost over. Episode 20 is going to be the final episode of season 1. We are going to talk about how it feels to be 3 years sober. I'm so close. Really excited to hit this milestone with all of you guys and share it with you. And yeah, it's amazing. Time really flies when you're having fun. I'm glad you guys are here with me on this journey. If this is your first time listening, hi, I'm Lashes Lane. I am a sober performer local to the Orlando area. I do burlesque, I produce burlesque shows. I am a new fitness professional and a health and wellness coach. You'll learn about that later in the episodes. I'm sure I like to drop some health and wellness stuff here and there, but if you subscribe to my YouTube, you will definitely see more wellness content dropping on the YouTube very, very soon. Also, once season 1 of the Sober Showgirl wraps up, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Audible or Apple, you definitely want to make sure you're subscribed to YouTube because I will be posting weekly sober showgirl content that is not necessarily the podcast, but I'm going to do some recipes and we're going to explore different stores to find fun non-alcoholic options, and I have a bunch of fun stuff planned. So even though you're going to have to wait for season 2 of the show, there's still going to be a lot of fun weekly content on the YouTube. So make sure you are subscribed to that. I also have vlogs so you can see what my sober day-to-day life looks like, and those are uploaded weekly as well. I am slowly building up all of my stuff on YouTube, so it's definitely the place to be. So make sure you are headed to the Life with Lashes YouTube channel and subscribe to that. My last vlog was a behind-the-scenes look at my sold-out show, Teas of Tarot. I almost said Love Magic. That was in February. That is on the channel as well, but the Teas of Tarot was June 8th. It was sold out. It was so much fun. That show is so therapeutic, and everyone picks a tarot card that means something to them and then just create something beautiful with that card and music of their choosing, and it's just a really wonderful show. So I have a little behind the scenes video on that. You get to see what it looks like for me to not only produce a show sober, but you get to see some clips of me on stage and backstage and all that good stuff. And it's fun. If you are sober and you're in the entertainment industry, maybe it'll make you feel like you have a sober buddy, which you do. And even though, even if we haven't met in person, I'm rooting for you, and I'm glad that we get to share some memories through the internet together. So today's topic, I'm going to just jump right in and say that this is going to be more of a factual, I guess, episode. I'm not going to get too far into the things that I don't have knowledge on. So we're going to keep it just alcohol based, but this topic is definitely something that is just really important with like anything that's super addictive. So like prescription drugs in general, and of course alcohol. We are not going to talk about drugs in depth because I have never done drugs. I would love to, get somebody's perspective who's sober from drugs and alcohol. It has like, a story about having struggles with addictions to pain medications on the podcast in the future, in episode 2, in season 2 rather. I would love to have some guests to talk about some stuff that maybe I don't have personal experience with. So let's chit chat about pain, chronic pain, and using alcohol as a crutch, as a coping mechanism. That is where I have experience, and so you guys are going to get to know me and my struggles a little bit better. I have had chronic pain since I was like a teenager, and my earliest memories of having really bad pain was probably from Disney, when I worked at Disney, and I was like 17, 18, 19, 20, like in that age range, and I just would come home and I would be in so much pain in my shoulders, in my back, and I was hurting. And my dad has chronic pain, and he would always say sorry, like, it was inherited from him. So I just struggled with it for a really long time, even as a teenager. And teenagers are known to like bounce back and, not be in pain constantly. I remember going to a chiropractor and they were like, I think I was 19, and the chiropractor said, "You have so much tension in your shoulders. You're like a 40-year-old." And I was like, oh my God. So, yeah, I've been struggling with that my whole life. I still struggle with it to this day. But when I was actively in addiction with alcohol, that is a crutch I used to try to numb the pain. And it got so bad that I felt like I needed alcohol to sleep at night because my shoulders and my back would hurt so bad that I felt like I needed to have a couple glasses of wine so my muscles would be relaxed so I would sleep. Now, I did pull up some articles and I would love to read a couple little chunks. This first one is from sandstonecare.com, and it says the dangers of alcohol use as a coping mechanism, addiction, whether or not substance abuse and slash or addiction run in your family, all people experience increased tolerance for alcohol the more and longer they drink. More alcohol is required to achieve the same effect. In extreme cases of physical dependence on alcohol, a person can become so addicted that they experience withdrawal symptoms without the substance, such as tremors, sweating, insomnia, headaches, and more. Alcohol withdrawal can be fatal in severe cases. Yikes. If you guys have been through any kind of alcohol withdrawal, you know that is so true. I know when I was getting sober and I cut alcohol out cold turkey, I definitely experienced heightened anxiety, sweating, insomnia, just sugar cravings, a bunch of weird stuff. And it was very, very challenging. The one thing that I really want to point out with this piece and why I wanted to share this article chunk is it says more alcohol is required to achieve the same effect. So how do you think that affects you when you are trying to, mask your pain or alleviate your pain with alcohol? More alcohol is required to achieve the same effect. That means maybe one glass of wine would get rid of my back pain, or, it would make me feel like I was getting rid of my back pain for a little while, and then that wouldn't work anymore. So I'd have to go to 2. And then those 2 glasses would turn into 2 bottles just to help me get to sleep, to feel like my body was relaxed. We could make a whole episode about alcohol and insomnia and how it actually is like totally the worst thing for you to do to get yourself to fall asleep. That's a whole different episode topic that we will get to in season 2 for sure, because I don't think we've talked about that yet. No, we have not. So we definitely need to talk about that in season 2. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I did want to read a little snippet from Alcohol Rehab Guide. While alcohol does not directly decrease pain as the central nervous system depressant, it has a numbing effect that can temporarily lessen the subjective experience of pain sensations. However, with continued drinking over time, the body develops a tolerance to alcohol's effects, meaning that it takes more and more to produce the same result. So right now we are hearing basically the same thing that we heard in the other article, right? And then it says that is a key factor in development of alcohol use disorder and is one of the fundamental diagnostic indicators. Moreover, using alcohol to numb, escape from, or medicate chronic pain places people at risk for several additional serious health consequences, especially when mixing pain medications. That's what they had to say about all of that, which is a very similar message to the first little chunk I read. The more you use it as a crutch, the more you're going to have to use to get that same effect, which is what makes it so addictive. You are not going to be able to just have that one glass of wine every night to, make your body feel more, quote, relaxed. You're going to be upping the amount to get that effect. So that's very dangerous. And if you have a relationship with alcohol that I did previously, you know that that's just a bad road to go down. I did want to read another chunk about mixing alcohol and pain medications. I did want to read one more little chunk from this alcohol rehab guide just about mixing alcohol and pain medications. Some of you guys might know this already, but if you don't and you are currently drinking to alleviate pain and that's a part of your routine, just wanted to let you guys know some of the additional risks if you are mixing your alcohol with pain medications. And I used to do this. I used to drink wine or whatever and have acetaminophen. So this is fun for me to read, because when you do it, when you're like in it and you're in like an active addiction state, you are not thinking like, oh, I'm going to damage my liver. You're just thinking like, fuck it, I don't care. I just want to feel nothing. I just want to feel numb, So mixing alcohol and acetaminophen can cause acute liver poisoning and even liver failure. So when I was mixing my wine with acetaminophen to try to get the pain to go away, I actually could have been causing liver failure. So that's horrifying. So glad to be almost 3 years sober. Mixing alcohol and ibuprofen, something that I used to do all the time. Ooh, and aspirin, just so you guys know. It says mixing alcohol, ibuprofen, and aspirin increases the risk of gastric stomach bleeding. So if you were like, I don't care, I don't take acetaminophen, well, ibuprofen and aspirin too, y'all. There's also some information about opioids and how mixing alcohol with opioids can cause overdose and how there's, extreme risk for that. So opioids is a different topic. I don't have any experience with that. So again, I would love to go into this topic deeper with someone who has experience recovering from that sort of addiction. And I think that would be really great in season 2. So if you are listening to this and you've struggled with those types of things and you are now sober and you want to share your story, please reach out to me because I'd love to have you on the podcast. So those were the 2 chunks of articles that I wanted to share with you guys. I just wanted to say in relation to all of that, it's so clear that, if we're using alcohol as a pain reliever, it's just going to make us drink more and more and more. Those 2 articles said it right there, that you can't just use one and expect to get the same effect. You can't just have one can, one glass and expect that to alleviate your pain forever. Your body is going to get used to it. You are going to need more and more and more. And that is where the addiction comes in, especially if you already have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol like I did. It was making it so I felt like I needed alcohol to fall asleep, to get rid of my pain. Now, 3 years sober, almost 3 years sober in a couple of days, I, think about pain management. I think about stretching. I think about foam rolling. I think about certain rehabilitating exercises. I think about making sure I'm hydrated and all of that type of stuff. I think about self-care. I think about stress management. I think about the way that I'm sleeping and how could that be impacting my pain level, all that kind of stuff. And alcohol is not even on my mind when I think about managing pain. I do have like a massage gun. I have like a bunch of different biofreezes and pain gels and stuff. But once I started really taking care of myself and my body, and through sobriety, I've, taken on a very clean and healthy lifestyle with my diet and my relationship to exercise. I used to have a really bad eating disorder, and that was really challenging, and that definitely impacted my pain levels because I wasn't putting the proper nutrients in my body. And so now, healing my relationship with alcohol, that made me get back into health and wellness and fitness. And it made me heal my relationship with food. And it was like a domino effect, but like in a good way in my life. So I got rid of alcohol, and then everything else kind of got better. I am still in pain quite a bit. I actually have really bad back pain right now. I had really bad back pain last night, but alcohol is not even on my mind anymore when it comes to managing. I will grab BioFreeze and rub it on my back, or I'll grab my massage gun and drink like a magnesium drink and have my water and make sure I'm hydrated before I will even think about anything else. I don't think about alcohol anymore at all with pain management, actually. So that's a great win for me. If you are still thinking about alcohol and you are sober now, and when you're in pain, you wish that you could have that wine, or it makes you want to run out to the store and just break down and get like some kind of alcohol, just remember that you're doing more damage with that alcohol long term than you are by having it. I know that temporary relief seems so tempting. Relieving yourself and numbing yourself in that one moment might seem like something that is calling to you and seems really enticing, but please remember all of the things that you could be damaging long term. I mean, shoot, when you are thinking about alcohol and you are thinking about reaching for a bottle because you are in pain, I urge you to do some stretches, do some yoga, do a meditation practice. If you need to just grab some BioFreeze, stretch, something like that is going to be more helpful. Also, going to the chiropractor, acupuncture, massages, all of that stuff can be really, really beneficial too. I do want to talk about nutrition and diet. Doing stuff that's more anti-inflammatory, that is a great way to alleviate pain. If you guys know me, you know that I try to be as anti-inflammatory with my diet as possible because I do have chronic pain in my back. I have chronic pain in my hands. And once I switched my diet to more anti-inflammatory and got rid of like seed oils and got rid of like excess sugars and all of that stuff, and switched my diet to more like whole foods that are not inflammatory, and got rid of stuff that was more processed, my hand pain is a lot better. My back pain is a lot better. Sure, I still deal with it, but it's certainly a lot better. So look at your diet, look at anti-inflammatory options, look at what you're eating. If it's processed, if you're eating a lot of processed bullshit, that might be contributing to your pain, guys. So I urge you guys to look into maybe some anti-inflammatory moments for yourself with your own personal diet and nutrition. At the end of the day, pain is something that is just really hard for all of us to deal with. We do want that instant relief. Pain can really affect our mood, our days, and it might be tempting to reach for that bottle. But I'm here to tell you that once you put down the bottle and you start taking care of yourself with diet, with nutrition, with exercise, and with just overall like self-love and self-care, it really does make a huge difference, and it can alleviate your pain long term. Alcohol, using that is just going to be this short-term numbing effect that's not really getting rid of your pain. It's just giving you this euphoric state of mind that makes you feel like your pain is being numbed, but It's not, and it's causing long-term damage to your body. Alcohol abuse can lead to so many different diseases and liver damage and just overall issues with addiction that can get you into horrible situations and cloud your judgment and just all in all make your life totally suck. When you're hungover, your body is like so dehydrated, screaming for help. That's not going to help your pain levels. So we are just sitting here creating this vicious cycle where we are drinking 2 bottles of wine to fall asleep because our back hurts, and then we are waking up in pain because we're hungover. And guess what? Our back hurts worse now. So that's just, it's not a good way to manage our pain. So I want to wrap up this episode by saying I want everybody to just be more mindful, take care of yourself from the inside, practice good self-love habits and mindfulness, take care of your body, nourish your body with proper hydration and whole foods. You're going to feel so much better. If you are struggling with addiction and you're struggling with pain management, I urge you to look into maybe a chiropractor, maybe a massage gun. If you cannot afford a chiropractor, I use my little massage gun all the time when my back is really hurting and my shoulders hurt. It is such a lifesaver. Look into stretches for that part of your body that hurts. Like if you have really bad hip pain, there's so many different rehabilitating stretches for your hip. Take care of yourself, be mindful, and remember that if we treat our bodies well, we can alleviate pain long term instead of just having like 20 minutes of numbness. My goal with this episode was just to share a little bit more about my struggles with alcohol, talk about chronic pain, share a little bit of information about alcohol and chronic pain, and make everybody feel less alone. My next episode, we are going to be talking about what it's like being 3 whole years sober and talk a little bit about what season 2 for the Sober Showgirl is going to look like. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and make sure if you're not listening to this on YouTube, you head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot of fun sober content on the channel very soon. And there's already a bunch of fun vlogs on there where you can see my sober life. So if you're not already there, go there, make it your place, hang out with me. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me today. And thank you for listening to this little episode about chronic pain. Love you guys. Bye-bye.